do 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 do. Okay, welcome. This is the video that's going to be going over how to find dealing with series like arithmetic series. So we're going to take some sequences that are arithmetic and then add the terms together, which is the series, and then kind of go from there. Okay. So I'm going to we're going to start with this one here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So we'll call it A sub n, and this is an arithmetic sequence that's moving up by 1 each time. Okay. And I want to figure out the sum of these first 6 terms. Okay. You could easily do this, 1 plus 2, just add them all together. That works. But now picture if this goes on till the end of time, and I'm asking you to find the sum of like the first 500 terms. Well, it's not as easy. Okay, so let's look at the strategy for it. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to cut these off into pairs. So I'm going to take the farthest one and that one. 6 plus 1 is 7. And then notice this. 5 plus 2 is also 7. 3 plus 4 is 7. And now I could just add those, 21. So this adds up to 21. Notice that there are 6 terms, but 3 of these pairs. So the way I'm going to go about it when I'm trying to find that sum, so the series of this, okay, I'll take the first term, whatever this term is, add to it whatever that last term is. Okay, so that's going to be my pairs. That's like the 6 plus 1 to give me 7. And then I got to times it by the number of groups. Okay, so it's the first term plus the last term times the number of groups. But Mr. Pons, how do you find the number of groups? Thank you, Mario/Luigi. Yeah, that's a good question. Like, how do you find the number of groups? Well, look here. You've got 6, and when you pair them off, it's kind of like you're cutting them in half for 3. Okay, so another way to think about these groups are you're taking the total and cutting them in half. Okay, let's do a couple examples. Okay, so let's look at this one. So this is my sequence, going up by 5 each time. I want to find the sum of the first 15 terms. Okay, now here's an issue though, because look at my formula here. I need to know what the last term is, so then I can break it off into these groups here. So I don't know what the last term, I know what the first term is, I don't know what the last term is. Well, to find that, I'm going to do my arithmetic sequence formula. If you need help with that, go back and watch that video. Remember, for those, I need to find my common difference. So I'm looking for the 15th term. Well, let's see, it's going up by 5 each time. So I'm going to take the original 5 plus 5, and I'm moving up by that 14 times. I'm kind of doing the math on that. That's 75. Okay, so that'd be like my 15th term. Okay, now I break it off into those pairs. So I'll do 75 plus 5. That's what each of the pairs are going to add up to. Okay. And then the number of groups, well, I'm looking for 15 terms, so it'll be 15 divided by 2. Okay. Now I can just type that into my calculator. So the sum of the 15th terms. There we go. Okay, try these 2 out on your own, and then come back and see how you did. Okay, welcome back. Okay, so just like before, I've got to find terms here. So I've got to find the 200th. So let's see, looks like I'm adding 7 each time. Right, because -8, yeah, that's definitely adding 7. Okay, so then I'm going to do my formula, trying to find the 200th term. I start with my first term, and I add 7 199 times. Okay. That gives me 1385, so that's the 200th term. Okay, so then I take the last term, the 1385, plus the first term. Okay, so that's going to be how much are in each of the pairs. And then times by how many pairs there will be, which is 200 divided by 2, 100. Okay. And doing that, I get, that's the sum of the first 200 terms. Okay, make sure you try the last one. Okay, so I need to find the 130th term. That's 5 plus, looks like I'm subtracting 6 each time. So negative 6, and we're doing that 129 times. Okay, so the 130th term is negative 769. Okay, so then my sum, take the first term plus that. Okay, and then it's times 130 divided by 2. Okay, now I just have, and I get negative, there you go. That's the sum of the first 130. Yeah, the key thing to remember, like we did here, take the first term and the last term, that's what you get here, and then the number of groups, you just take the number of terms divided by 2, multiply those together to give your total amount. Okay, hopefully this helps.